This is Learning with Coach History. This is the third and final lesson on the Great Depression, Hoover's failed policies. In this lesson, you'll learn how President Hoover tried to stop the Depression. The key terms and people: Herbert Hoover, Boulder Dam, Federal Home Loan Bank Act, Reconstruction Finance Corporation, and the Bonus Army. Over time, economies go through cycles, which means there are times of economic growth and prosperity followed by slumps when the economy slows down. In the 1930s, many experts believed that it was best not to interfere with these cycles. They argued that slumps would end on their own and good times would return. At first, President Hoover believed that the Great Depression was just another slowdown that would end on its own. Hoover did think that the government should take actions in this situation, but he also believed that it should not take too much power or give direct aid to people who needed it. Instead, Hoover believed government should help different groups work together to improve the economy. For example, he thought government should help managers and workers find solutions to their problems, but he did not think government should decide on the solution. Hoover also believed in rugged individualism, which is the idea that people should succeed through their own efforts. He thought that people should take care of themselves and each other, and that the government should encourage private groups to help the needy. He supported the ideas that charities and not government should give food and shelter to people who were poor or out of work. Hoover adopted a cautious approach to dealing with the Depression. He began by meeting with businessmen, bankers, and labor leaders. He urged them to work together to help improve the economy. He asked employers not to fire workers or to lower their pay. He asked labor leaders not to demand higher pay or to go on strike. Hoover also devised a plan to help private charities increase the money they received to assist the poor. Nothing he did made a difference. The economy shrank and unemployment rose. Many companies closed their doors, and people continued to lose their jobs. Hungry Americans were forced to rely on soup kitchens for food. Some people lived in shanty towns or roamed from place to place as hobos. One project that helped was the Boulder Dam, a huge dam on the Colorado River. Still, economic difficulties increased, and the country turned against Hoover. In 1930 elections, the Democrats gained more seats in Congress, winning control of the House of Representatives. The Republicans retained a majority in the Senate, but just by one seat. Citizens took other actions too. Farmers burned crops and dumped milk rather than sell it for less than it cost them to produce. People called the shanty towns Hoovervilles. Despite criticism, Hoover stuck to his principles. Hoover did not offer direct aid to the poor. However, he did take steps to use the government to improve the economy. Hoover used the Boulder Dam project as a model of how the federal government could encourage cooperation between private groups. He tried to help farmers by backing the creation of the Federal Farm Board. One of its purposes was to help farmers find ways to raise prices of crops. He also tried to help banks by having them form the National Credit Cooperation. This organization gave loans to banks that were in danger of failing. By 1931, the economy had not improved. Congress passed the Federal Home Loan Bank Act. This law lowered mortgage rates. Congress hoped that low mortgage rates would help farmers change the terms of their mortgages. This would help protect their farms from foreclosure. Hoover also created the Reconstruction Finance Corporation, or RFC. The RFC provided money for projects to create jobs. Hoover became less popular with the public. His popularity fell even more in 1932 when World War I veterans, who had been promised bonuses to make up for their poor wartime pay, came to the Capitol. Congress wanted to vote on a bill to give the veterans their bonuses immediately. Thousands of out of work veterans and their families arrived in Washington. This so called bonus army set up tents near the Capitol building. Hoover first sent the veterans food, but after the bonus was voted down in Congress, he told the veterans to leave. About 2,000 stayed. Hoover ordered the army to remove them. The sight of the U.S. Army troops using tear gas on citizens outraged many people. It seemed unlikely that Hoover would be reelected.